All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Decentralized Internet and Privacy Dev Room here at FOSDEM 2018. My name is Tristan Lito. I'm a French citizen. My email address, which is a decentralized protocol, which I encourage you to use, is tristan@nito.com. I work for a French company, French startup called Cozy Cloud. And I'm here to welcome you and introduce the day. The day is in two parts. The first part is focusing on decentralized internet, and the next one is more related to privacy. We will see that actually it's the two sides of the same coin. They have a lot in common, and this is why the organizers have suggested that we merge the two tracks in the same day and in the same room. I will discuss today the relationship between code and architecture. First, a few words to introduce myself. I have spent 17 years with the Mozilla project. I was a Netscape employee when it started in '98. That's really, we're celebrating in 2 months. Next month, we're going to celebrate the 20 years of the Mozilla project. I think I went to FOSDEM the first time in 2002. When I left Mozilla, I wrote a book called Surveillance. It's only in French for the moment, about decentralization and privacy and the role of free software in all of this. And now I am with Cozy.io, Cozy Cloud, which is a personal cloud, free and open source software version of it, to empower people and give them more privacy with their personal data. I will go through with my slides with important people, in my opinion, in our fight. The first one is Lawrence Lessig, famous for Creative Commons and other things, who famously said back in '99, which is old enough to be interesting, that code is law. What he meant by that is that developers and programmers, the people who write the software, decide what the software is going to do. That's obvious. But because digital technologies are taking over the world, and because, as Mark Andreessen said, software is eating the world, the people who write the software actually decide what the ordinary users will be able to do with the things they buy and use in their everyday life. So another person I like to talk about is Spider-Man, who obviously said that with great power comes great responsibility. As we write software, we have the responsibility to decide for other people what they can and cannot do, which makes us actually writing the law, or we decide what people can and cannot do. Another person which I have to mention, of course, is Edward Snowden. So Snowden has said a lot of things and have, as a whistleblower, given literally thousands of documents to reporters to talk about it. But if you had to sum up really what Snowden is about, is that because we give all of our data to a few very large internet companies, we actually make economically possible mass surveillance. The NSA wants to have an eye on everybody on Earth. That's their wildest dream, but they can't do that because it's too expensive. But if we equip many of these people with smartphones and every people with a smartphone store their data within the hands of Google and Apple, then suddenly it becomes economically feasible to do mass surveillance on half of the planet. It's still expensive, but they do have big budgets, and it's a lot easier than tracking every one of us. So centralization is a very dangerous thing because of that. Someone who's less famous is Mitch Kapoor. Mitch Kapoor is known for proprietary software initially, Lotus 123. He invented it. He made quite a big pile of money in the process, but he's a great guy. He was a founder of the EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation. He was also very helpful in the birth of the Mozilla Foundation. He actually gave quite a bit of money, of his personal money, to help the Mozilla Foundation take off in the early days. And Mike said architecture is politics. And really, if code is law, architecture is politics. The way we design systems is actually decided how they work and who is in power. If we centralize everything, we're deciding that that a handful of people control what everybody else is doing. If we decentralize, we empower people locally to do that they want. This is why decentralization matters. Centralizing data is concentrating power in the hands of a few corporations. And if we realize that we are centralizing more and more data and software is eating again and again the world, and that technology is everywhere and is going to be worse tomorrow than today, then we need to make sure that technology is decentralized and is open source so that people have the power and not just a handful of very large corporations. We can invent a better world, and actually we already started. As I said, Mozilla is going to celebrate its 20th birthday this year, so it's not a new idea. It works. I don't know if you've tried the latest iterations of Firefox, but it's amazing. It has done amazing progress. Of course, GNU Linux, even from the data center to your pockets and smartphones, the kernel has done wonders. And Wikipedia goes well, Wikipedia. And this was just the beginning. We need to make sure this continues. And this is why the work that we do today, meeting together, discussing the interest of decentralization and privacy is really important. And today what we're going to discuss are these many aspects. How can we measure decentralization? As you probably have heard of, you can only change what you can actually measure. And so we need to measure if we are making progress or not. We need to create decentralization technologies. We will need to build privacy-improving technologies. We need to fund, because of course, it's easier when you have money and a business model, or at least funding. We need to encourage people to use these technologies in order to make an impact. And overall, we need to create a movement of people that want to decentralize the internet and want to make tools that enable privacy. So this is one of my favorite slides ever. It's up to us to build the GNU internet, which is decentralized and private. And this is what I encourage you today by attending these sessions. Let's build the decentralized and private by design internet that the people need and want. Thank you very much.